this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, D.W. Wilson is reopened, South Jackson's Goes Country editions are coming up, and Dameron's Restaurant continues their free meal program. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Hello, I'm Ray Noyes. This is a critical time in Tullahoma. On August the 6th, voters will have an opportunity to elect a new mayor, one who can provide proven, experienced leadership, one who knows how to get things done and keep Tullahoma moving. I recognize the value of Tullahoma's excellent school system. Our system is recognized as one of the best in the state, and I'll ensure that our schools continue at that level. I will not vote to raise property taxes in order to have a balanced budget until all other options have been exhausted. I'll work closely with our city staff to ensure that my fiscally conservative values are incorporated. Now, I've served on all city boards involved in economic development. I see that as a way that we can broaden our tax base and avoid a property tax rate increase. Some developers have had issues with our Planning and Codes Department. I'll commit to these improvements. There'll be consistency in the instructions from Planning and Codes without changes from day to day. And there'll be predictable timelines for providing delivery dates for plan reviews, permits, and inspections. Timelines that will be met reliably. Now, while we can't do much about the traffic on 41A and 55, we can improve our local streets and sidewalks, and this I commit to do. So I ask for your vote for proven, experienced leadership.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Welcome back. Tullahoma has reopened D.W. Wilson on Monday, and we spoke with Parks and Recreation Director Lyle Russell about it.
We're very happy to have people back in the building. It was getting a little lonely in there.
I bet. Just for me, because I've never thought about it, when your facility is operating on a normal basis, how many of y'all are there?
Let's see, there's, for employees during the off season, there's probably 10 or so in the building at a time, but during the height of the season, in the summer when the pool is open and cafe is open, I mean, it's a lot.
It's a bunch, but
it's a lot.
I'm thinking about when y'all are in there during what you've been going through. But
in the last 7 weeks, 8 weeks or so since this started, it's been a very small crew, and we've been working staggered schedules, so it's even smaller.
Right.
And that was the smart thing to do.
Sure.
We were still able to accomplish a lot of things around the center, doing a lot of good deep cleaning and a lot of just deferred maintenance things that we couldn't do while we were open. But we were able to stagger the schedule out well, and it worked out really good. So we were very happy to have people in the building again yesterday.
I bet. So can you tell us, because I don't know, and I'm sure a lot of people out there don't know, what are some of the guidelines that you're working under right now?
So the governor released a recreational activities guideline on what you can go on tn.gov and read. It's the same thing that we get in our bulletins. And the biggest thing is just maintaining the social distancing. That we're still trying to keep, common surfaces from being touched a lot. That's the primary reason that we had to close down for so long. In a community center, you don't realize how many things people go in there and touch, or lean against, or so
opening the door, grabbing the rail on the pool.
Absolutely. And all of those things, on the surface, it sounds like it's easy, but it takes staff and a lot of people being eagle-eyed watching, okay, I need to make sure I clean this in the right time. right time frame. So we've had some logistical difficulties trying to figure it all out. And yesterday we finally put it all together to open, and it was flawless. It worked out great. So,
well, what kind of did you have kind of a normal group of people coming in?
Well, it was a little bit smaller, and we're grateful for that because that gave us a chance to work out any bugs that we may not have foreseen. But we're allowing right now, we have 6 lanes in the pool, so all 6 lanes are available to swim, and then we're allowing 2 people to come in and wait for a lane to clear. So 8 people can go in the pool at a time. And in the fitness room down at the far end of the building, we're allowing 10 at a time. We had several come in yesterday to use it. We never hit 10 at one time. It staggered throughout the day, which was kind of nice. And everybody was really nice and patient with us while we tried to work through this, unprecedented time and schedule that we're working under. So we're really grateful for that. And I guess that would be the biggest thing I could ask folks for, is just be patient as we work through all of these things we've never had to experience before. We want to make sure we get it right.
Hopefully, these last 2 months has re-educated our whole society in the definition of patience.
If you look at the way that things have gone in this last 8 weeks, a lot of the questions that we've seen and phone calls that we've gotten have really shown us the importance of recreation. Period.
Oh yeah.
I understand there's people that want to get out there and they want to play Little League again and they want to get on the playgrounds again. We're waiting for those guidelines, but what it's really shown us is that recreation is an incredibly important part of just everyday life.
It is.
You go to work for 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever your shift happens to be for the day, but what you do in that off time, it's a big deal. And that's one of the things that has become more apparent to us.
One of my favorite things you do is the lunch and learn, and we're about out of time, but I want you to give us a quick scenario on how that's going to go forward.
Yeah, so once the guidance comes through on group gatherings, of course, that's a small room and then you usually get a big crowd. So once the guidance comes through on how we can manage group gatherings again is when we're planning on firing up the lunch and learns again.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's not Invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Look around, the changes catch your eye, and you come to realize one can make a difference. Since 1915, Kiwanis International has touched millions of lives. When you help one child, you help the world. But one can make a difference.
Welcome back. Samantha Waters spoke with Peggy Burden about auditions coming up for the 41st annual South Jackson Goes Country.
41 years, can you believe it? I mean, you can't say that for hardly anything.
There's very few things.
So Peggy started this and has kept it alive, and it's blessed so many people, and it's our very own Opry right here in Tullahoma. So at South Jackson Civic Center, we do a 3-day show, and it's different every single day. And we have singers and dancers and actors and local commercials that are live.
Comedians.
Yes, comedians for sure. And we have some groups. It's just amazing. And we are doing auditions, and we'd love to have you involved. And they will be June the 7th and 8th, and that will be on site. Now, we are doing some things this year because of COVID-19. We're taking some more social precautions, trying not to put too many people in the room at once. So we will be doing sign-ups. So if you want to audition this year, we hope that you go online to southjackson.org and you sign up for a slot. We have them through Sign Up Genius. It's very easy. You just go in and sign up and you'll be part of a 20-minute audition process that way. And there's a form online that you can fill out there as well, and we ask that you bring it with you. That way we don't have to have pins and sanitation for all that on site. There also is virtual auditions this year. So
I think that's a great idea.
Yes, that way folks who don't feel comfortable coming together at this time, that's okay. We still want to have you in the show. The show is not until August. So you have time to work on all of your songs, but we would like you to submit them by June the 6th, and you can submit them to southjacksongoescountry@gmail.com. So we ask you send a form and up to 2 songs. One of those we would like to be up-tempo, because we like some up-tempo songs in the show for sure.
And the song doesn't have to be totally all the way through, does it?
No, we at least need a minute of your song, because we want to hear basically a verse and a chorus, or a verse-chorus bridge.
Sometimes people have asked me, do we have an age limit? We really don't, do
no.
we?
No,
we don't care
definitely
if you're 103 or if you're 3. So
exactly, we will find a spot for you, because this is a very eclectic show, I would say. I mean, we do country, but we do bluegrass and we do folk,
and we love songwriters.
Yes,
country songwriters. I thought we had some of the best writers last year.
We did. We had a good variety last year, and so there's different segments of the show. We do a pre-show, which we have children in, so they'll sing, they'll dance. We love kids of all ages. And then we have an Act 1 and Act 2, and also an Opry segment. So we try to bring out some of the classic country at that time. And then we also do a songwriter segment, just like you said.
I love that we do that.
It's a nice spotlight.
Yeah,
it is. It kind of gives people an opportunity to feel what the Bluebird is like. If you've never been there, we kind of get that vibe.
And that way they can be spread out across the stage. So that's a good thing. I know that Martha Brooke Powers Hood will be back directing the
pre-show warm-up show.
The pre-show. And then we have a show outside that we bring in dancers, cloggers, and a few singers. And we sell barbecue every year.
Oh, and it's so good.
I believe it runs about $5 for a sandwich and whatever goes with it. So Piggy's Place is the one that's been that we've been getting our barbecue from. So we hope that people will come at 6 or 6:30 and enjoy everything. And the on-stage show starts at 7 on Friday and Saturday, and then 2 o'clock. No, the on-stage show starts at 1:30 on Sunday.
Right, the warm-up show is 1:30.
So we have openings for lots of different sorts of people. If you're a juggler, we'll take you.
Yes, we will, for sure. No, we don't turn anybody down, and we do try to always put a country flair to things. But again, it's an eclectic show. And people come back every year for this, because once you're part of the family, you're in.
Exactly, once you're in.
Yes.
It's all about not only having fun and laughing a lot. I think I've missed a lot of laughter.
Yes.
And I'm glad to get back in there and get some of it back. But I think that the fact that it is a fundraiser for South Jackson is important, because there is no way you can keep a building like that open without money.
So at South Jackson Civic Center, we will have on-site auditions for South Jackson Goes Country, and it will be June 7th and 8th. That is a Sunday and a Monday. June 7th, Sunday, will be from 2 to 4 p.m., and Monday will be 6 to 8 p.m. Now, we do ask that you don't just show up. We do ask that you sign up for a time this year so that we can separate people and allow more social distancing. So to sign up for a time, just go to southjackson.org/auditions, and you'll go on there and choose a time through Sign Up Genius. And then also we have virtual auditions, which can be done through southjacksongoescountry@gmail.com.
More important news is coming up in a moment.
I'm Philip Bourne, Stamping Nab Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stan McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stan McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what a difference our detail can make.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Welcome back. Marilyn Ewing spoke to Shelbyville City Administrator Shannon Boyette about their COVID-19 numbers and what they're doing to fight the pandemic in their area.
I believe since the last time we spoke, we're notified by the health department of a cluster of positive cases within our jurisdiction, and we've continued to work with the health department to gain information. We've been in contact with the industry associated with and had multiple phone conversations with their business leaders and what they're doing and their continued efforts for containment. Because you take that number out, our number looks more indicative of a rural community, and really we're unique because our numbers, being what they are outside of the metro health area, makes us a little bit unique in all of the data and everything that surrounds us. So it kind of just sticks out. But that really brings to light why we've continued here in the city of Shelbyville to be on a modified work schedule and continue to encourage as much of the Tennessee pledge as Governor Lee's put out with his administration for us to follow it. It's now more important than ever in our community that we continue to do our part individually as citizens to keep that number from continuing to grow.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and we're continuing to do that. That's been a big factor. Our numbers, we're having to make the same decisions some of the private sector businesses are doing. And I think I might have mentioned this and alluded to it maybe in a previous conversation. Normally when you have a situation, you look to your neighbors to see how things are doing, and you get ideas and you work together as a team. But this is a very different situation because our story may be very different from somebody else's story that's just 20 minutes down the road from us. So you can't look to other communities and what they're doing, or even some, from the state perspective too, on guidelines if your community doesn't meet certain models. And so I've looked at all of those things and taken into consideration decisions we've had to make administratively about the parks department and the recreation facility. Currently right now our recreation center is still closed, and it will be closed.
So you're strictly going by those phases that were issued by the governor.
I look at those to try to stay in the spirit of what his recommendations are. However, I also realize if you look at different models, there may be some boots on the ground decisions that we have to make here that are within my scope in jurisdiction to make, and I certainly take those into consideration so I know there's lots of questions. He's tried, and I think they've done a good job about telling us, with sports, organized sports events, as the weather warms up, those questions are starting to come in, and rightfully so. You can't just start them overnight. It takes planning, it takes practice, and I really appreciate the citizens of Shelbyville's patience through all of this. It's a time to definitely be more patient and kinder than most, but I'm not always going to say that that's an easy thing to do. And you're cooped up in the house and the weather's warm, and all the things that you love that you want to do, you're limited as to be able to do, and you constantly have to think outside the box and how you're going to be able to do a variation of those activities. So recognizing that, I really appreciate, we got a lot of positive comments even when we kept our rec center closed of, thank you all for, it's not an easy decision to make. We've been able to keep open some of the park that you all do in that, we create those and we get them before you, but they don't just stop there. It's a living, breathing document that gives Shelbyville an identity with the right elected officials, sitting at the right level of government. So they can say, you know what, I've heard from this community.
There you go.
And this is what we need.
That's
and
right.
that's what it's all about. And so at the end of the day, if you can walk away knowing that you turn those documents into a voice for Shelbyville, that's all anybody can ask.
All right.
Yes.
We want to be heard.
Yes. We want to be heard, and they don't need to forget us, you know. Don't need to forget us. It's a House resolution that they're going to be entertaining, and so we just need them to know where Shelbyville stands on that.
More news is coming up in a moment.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party. But things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900. And now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Welcome back. John Gray recently spoke with Jennifer Ray and Gloria Dameron about a feeding program they have called Come to the Table.
So we started Come to the Table the last Tuesday night in January 2019. So we've been doing this for just over a year. We serve hot meals on Tuesday evenings from 5 to 6 to anyone in need. They're free to the public, whoever wants to come in. We have donors who sponsor those meals and volunteers who help serve. And in 2019, we served over 5,000 meals.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. In an hour. Yeah, we do an hour. We do an hour. 5,500 meals served in 2019.
So you bring in your staff?
No, we have volunteers.
You have volunteer cooks and stuff like that? Well, I mean, that's outstanding.
Yeah,
that's outstanding. Whose idea was this?
Well, it's kind of a combination. I had kind of dreamed of this for a few years, and I teach school, so I see a lot of hungry kids and hungry families, and it was kind of a dream that had been in my heart for a while, and then had been thinking about it, talking to some friends about it, and then Gloria happened to post something on Facebook about a restaurant, I think it was in Kentucky maybe, who would use their restaurant at night to serve meals to the hungry. And so I had really not sure where to do this or how it would happen. When I saw Gloria's post, I contacted Gloria and said, I think you and I may have a similar dream. And so we sat down and talked about it and just jumped in with both feet.
Well, you know, that's just outstanding. And I know during this time of social distancing, and a lot of restaurants have closed, forced to close. Even during that crisis, you two girls are still feeding people for free on Tuesday nights.
Right, yes, drive-through. Drive-through. They actually drive through the parking lot, and we have volunteers who will take the meals out to them, and we've served still over 100 meals. 1 week we served 235 meals on a Tuesday evening just a few weeks ago. It was breakfast night, and everyone likes breakfast night.
Oh yeah, oh heavens, yes. Well, I don't think a lot of people realize they might, because of this. Because of this coronavirus, a lot of things have come to the forefront that your normal people don't ever even consider. And one of those is how many young children there are that the only food they get in a day is the food they eat at school.
Right. Yes.
And the schools have made a huge push to make sure those meals are still available. But what you're doing is supplementing that, because a lot of times these kids don't have anything to eat at night.
Right. They really don't, and I do think our school system has done an outstanding job of filling that gap during this time. You can see that around town during the day, people lined up at the food truck, but this fortunately reaches beyond just the children to their families. And you know, when we are able to meet within the restaurant setting, which is typically what we do, of course this has caused us to do this a little differently, but one of the amazing things for us has been to see when we first started serving meals in the beginning of 2019, we had a lot of children who came by themselves on Tuesday evening to eat a meal. Over time, that has changed. They've started bringing their parents and their grandparents, and so one of the things that's important to us is the idea of sitting around a table and sharing a meal. And it's really neat to see families begin to do that, because for some families that's not a reality. It's not something that they do on a regular basis. So on Tuesday evenings they've come to celebrate birthdays with us, or special occasions on Tuesdays, and our volunteers do a really good job of connecting with those people and getting to know their name and getting to know a little bit about their stories and those kind of things. So it's really a pretty amazing sense of community.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's got to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1941 at 96 degrees. The record low was in 2002 at 37 degrees. Average high on this day is 78, and the average low is 56. Chance of rain remains in the forecast for tonight with a low of 58. Thunderstorms expected on Friday with a high of 74 and a low of 64. And scattered storms in the forecast for Saturday with a high of 81 and a low of 65. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.